A few more determined when even dug tunnel under the river. Now, Mexicans are doing this, actually Chinese pioneer. The Chinese pioneer, various border crossing technique and method used by future illegal for Mexican, right? And because of widespread illegal border crossing, the El Paso Herald suggests if Chinese immigration to Mexico continue, it will be necessary to run a barbed wire fence along our side of Rio Grande. Later we did. To respond to illegal Chinese immigration, the country eventually established the U.S. Border Patrol with the Chinese division. The enforcement of a Chinese exclusion, as one scholar pointed out, as an important trial run for the federal government, the much larger effort to control Mexican immigration in later years. Now that's the certificate. After 1892, require every Chinese to carry the certificate. That sounds familiar? In Arizona, they just did, right? Yeah. In this brief lecture, I have provided a few highlights of the Chinese experience in Western development. In fact, it's impossible to separate Chinese from the broad regional and national history. If academic scholars and professional writers move away from both the ethnic comfort model and the victimization premise, we will develop a great appreciation of a common ground of all the participants who built this great country. In spite of undeniable ordeals as a result of a political equality and a racial violence, the Chinese immigrants were much like others in terms of their perceptions, attitude, behavior, and fulfillment on the American frontier. There was a great deal of economic cooperation, political compromise, cultural infusion, and a social accommodation between the Chinese and other groups. The success of treating the story of a Chinese immigrant as an inseparable part of a great Western saga depends on the enthusiasm of not just a few academic scholars, but all educators and Americans. Only after accurately conceiving and carefully presenting the shared experience of all the ethnic groups will we be able to tell more inclusive Western stories. Thank you. Okay, and now we can have a few more minutes. I'm willing to answer your questions. If there are any questions?
Were they able to? Were the Chinese able to own property? I mean, I know they had stores and things, but
yes,
did they own them?
Yes, in 19th centuries, the Chinese were able to own properties. Not until we see the 20th centuries, many states passed with the alien land laws and prohibit them from owning property. 19th century, yes. Yes.
After 35 years, do we take a different look at this? For example, like in the context of the Civil War, people say slavery is one main factor, but now it's more and more economic. So when you look at this, other than social, economic, and also racial, plus maybe psychological, anything new you can throw into this? Another question is, you mentioned about west, north, east. How about south? I've heard about the Delta region. It's very harmony there.
It's true.
Versus like the black, the white, and also the Oriental, the Chinese.
In the book, I did talk about the South a little bit, because
So
the South, after the Reconstruction, they plan to import the Chinese. There's the Memphis Chinese Convention, labor convention, try to replace the black. But after the Southern Redemption, the white regained the power, and quickly subjugate the black, so there was no need for Chinese. They did plan to import many Chinese right after the Civil War, yes.
So how about this, look at the right in Denver here? Any new perspectives?
New perspective is
How do you teach the younger generation?
I look at, we see the sectional conflict from that angle. Nobody made that argument before. Usually they make, we see the argument, the social argument, ideological, we see the argument with the slavery because of coolie labor, or the economic argument, the labor, they hated with the Chinese. No, I don't deny all this, we see the things, we see the play an important role. But I say, hey, don't forget this political aspect, the sectional conflict, the West versus East.